On this episode of Squatchbot, I am heading into my camera project research area to retrieve the photographic data collected over the past year. I will be sharing new details recently released by authorities regarding the mysterious deaths of a family of 3 while they were out on an afternoon day hike in the Yosemite foothills, and we will also be taking a brief look at the video and photographic footage collected throughout my camera project. It's all coming up next on Squatchbot.
Hello and welcome to Squatchbot. I'm Darren Smith, and I hope that all of you out there are doing okay and that you and your loved ones are well. I know it has been quite a while since I have posted a video. However, things in the California Sierra Nevada mountains have been far from ordinary.
In mid-August, a family of 3 went on a day hike with their dog in the Yosemite foothills, and they were later discovered dead on the trail. The cause of death is still being investigated. However, new information has recently been released. There have been a number of missing person cases filed recently within and in the surrounding areas of Yosemite National Park. Major wildfires burning in California prompted federal agencies to shut down access to national forest areas as a precautionary measure. Also, there have been a lot of reports coming in of unusually aggressive wildlife behavior, most likely attributed to the extreme drought conditions, lack of food and water, and stresses related to fire activity in the area. As a result of the aforementioned, it was either not possible or not advisable to head into the wildlands to conduct field research. I was also a little disappointed to see my last video was virtually overlooked. I felt this outing offered value to our investigation, and I would encourage those who had not seen this video yet to give it a watch. I've added a link here, and I will do so again at the end of this video.
So right now I am heading into my research area up near Shaver Lake, California. And I'm heading in here specifically to see what sort of damage the various fires that were burning in the area have had to the environment, most notably the creek fire. And I'm also going to be heading into the area where I have my camera project running to retrieve the memory cards from those units. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what sort of animal activity we have captured on those cameras. And I will definitely be sharing that footage with all of you here on this episode. So we definitely have a lot of work cut out for ourselves today because it is going to take a considerable amount of time to get into that location where the cameras are situated, and it is also going to take a considerable amount of time to get back out. So I am definitely glad I have gotten a very early start to the day because we are definitely going to need a substantial amount of time to get this work done. And I also want to thank all of you for your continued support of my channel and for joining me on this quest for answers into this incredible mystery. So you might be wondering what this is doing here. Well, recently Probably due to the fact that we are experiencing a significant drought here in California. A lot of the water sources for the animals are completely dried up, and also there is a shortage of food. And also, if you've been paying attention to the news, we have fires burning south of us and we have fires burning north of us. So the animals are under a great deal of stress, and as a result they have been exhibiting some very aggressive behavior. And we also have had a number of recent missing person cases here in the Sierra Nevada mountains near the Yosemite foothills, or along the foothills here. So it is a high degree of probability that the missing person cases are the result of animal attacks, because the animals are under an incredible amount of stress at the moment. So I did attach this horn blaster in an area that's really easily accessible for me, because in the event that there is an animal attack or I encounter an animal, blasting this thing in the direction of the animal is definitely going to create some disorientation for the animal, and it might actually scare the animal away. I also have the bear mace with me, and I also have other means of protection as well. So I am definitely well equipped to handle an animal incident. However, it's not something I would really appreciate encountering. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I have encountered wildlife in the past, and if you are at a reasonable distance, it is usually a great opportunity to observe the animals in a safe environment. However, in this current situation that we're experiencing here along the Sierra Nevada mountains and in California in general, the animals are under an extraordinary amount of stress, and that stress may cause them to be a little more aggressive towards humans. And this horn, being strategically placed, will give me an opportunity to chase the animal off before engaging it.
I would like to correct a statement I just made. On the last clip, I said I believed it was a high degree of probability the missing person cases in the area were likely the result of animal attacks. I do not necessarily believe this. What I was trying to communicate was that the wildlife has been under a great deal of stress lately and has been exhibiting more aggressive behavior that is out of the norm. An example of this, we have had an increase of incidents involving bears venturing into heavily populated areas and breaking into homestead chicken coops and slaughtering broods. This behavior was not commonplace previously. However, recently the reports have been more frequent. So, noting this unusually aggressive animal behavior, I do believe extra precautionary measures should be taken. However, I do not necessarily believe the wildlife pose an extreme risk. Doing a quick Google search, one can find pertinent information regarding outdoor safety, and it is not surprising to find predator animal attacks very low on the list, at number 12. However, it is still very important to do your homework before heading into any wildlands, and take necessary precautions to protect yourself and to stay safe.
So I'm pretty sure you could see behind me here the haze. That is actually smoke, and it's probably coming from the fires that are burning south here in Sequoia National Forest. But we also have a number of very large fires burning north of us as well. We have the fire up there near Lake Tahoe, and of course we have the Dixie Fire in Northern California that is producing an incredible amount of smoke for California. So the smoke at these higher elevations is definitely being felt physically as I'm moved through the environment. It is definitely difficult to catch your breath up here, and it's usually not the case even at these higher elevations. We are roughly just shy of 8,000 feet, or just around 8,000 feet, and that elevation is ideal for encountering Sasquatch this time of year. And as I mentioned on previous episodes, I was hoping to get up to much higher elevations where I absolutely believe the Sasquatch are residing during those summer months. However, as you probably heard on the news, that a lot of the national forests were shut down for an extended period of time due to the concerns of fire threat. So I wasn't able to get out into the wilderness this season. However, as the temperatures start cooling off and we get further into the fall season, the Sasquatch are definitely going to be moving down from those higher elevations and getting down into those lower valleys. And I'm just seeing here, I don't know if the camera is picking it up, but there's actually ash that is drifting down here. So you can see those fires are burning in fairly close proximity to our location here. And driving into the area and seeing the devastation caused by the Creek Fire was absolutely heartbreaking.
The Creek Fire began near Shaver Lake, California on September 4th, 2020. The cause, though reported as a lightning strike, is still unconfirmed. The fire burned 379,895 acres before being reported contained on December 24th, 2020. The fire destroyed 856 buildings, many of which were homes, and incurred a cost of over $193 million in fire suppression costs alone. As I drove into the area this morning, I was absolutely shocked by the devastation caused by the Creek Fire in this area. The loss of forested habitat is absolutely heartbreaking. There is an environmental crisis happening in the state of California. Severe drought is responsible for killing tens of millions of trees along the California Sierra Nevada mountains, and this dead vegetation is the primary cause of these historically large infernos. Other factors include tree mortality as the result of the pine beetle infestation, the predominant shutdown of the logging industry, and environmental legislation and liability red tape that has derailed forest management practices. A positive note, California Governor Gavin Newsom signed a bill earlier this month that will hopefully help in getting California's forest management back on track. I also mentioned earlier of a concerning incident involving a family of 3 who went on a day hike with their dog in the Yosemite foothills and were all later discovered dead on the trail. The investigation is still ongoing, and the cause of death has not yet been determined. However, recent test results were able to rule out a number of proposed theories. Reports concluded the deaths were not the result of blunt force trauma, gun or other weapon, or the result of lightning strike, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, or cyanide poisoning. Illegal drugs, alcohol, and suicide was also ruled out. Investigators are still waiting for further toxicology reports to rule out possible exposure to other environmental toxins. This incident occurred in very close proximity to my home. This family was very well liked by the community, and the Mariposa residents are justifiably concerned. The area around the incident site has been cordoned off, and authorities are working tirelessly to find answers. Returning home, I began the long process of going through all the photographs and video footage recovered. There were numerous late-night triggers that are still being reviewed, a couple of disappointments, Severe weather resulted in dramatic tree movement, which resulted in significant battery depletion as a result of countless false triggers. Also, the camera height and angling on one of the cameras resulted in numerous triggers from animals that were moving just out of the camera's view. And once again, I discovered discrete rock stacks flanking my cameras, which some propose may be means Sasquatch used to warn others to steer clear of the cameras. Regardless, here's a look at the footage captured from this past year.